We live.
We live?
We are
Oh
live.
shit, we live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Angie's World podcast. I'm so happy that y'all joining me, and I got my very first guest coming to my podcast, my homeboy, Nerd Nash, Nerd at the Cool Table. What do you go by these days?
Nerd Nash is cool. Nerd at
Nerd.
the cool table. That's like OG shit. You call me that, then you've been around. You've been knowing me for a long time.
Okay, so we're not doing Nerd at the Cool Table. That's like you're young.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like that's
Nerd
like
is cool. Nerd Nash is cool.
So I'm joined by my boy Nerd Nash. We're gonna get
That's
to
the
know him.
first guest. I'm the first guest.
Yes, you are the first guest, as you should be, man.
That's
It,
monumental.
it comes full circle because you back in the Twitter days in 2009, you were like literally one of my first social media friends. You also sent me the invite to get on Clubhouse as well, but we're gonna get into that. And I think this is the perfect time to have you on here because not only did I want to introduce you to my audience and whoever taps in and listens to me, but I also want to give you some flowers today as well. So we're gonna get into some things or whatever, and y'all gonna get to know who Nerd Nash is, how he started out, his career, and a lot of the waves that he created. we about to we about to get into that. But I just wanted to start off with a wellness check and see how your Thanksgiving was.
Thanksgiving was cool. Chill with my daughter, my mom. Nothing major. All our family in New York, so we
Right.
just.
Oh yeah. You where you from? Tell the people where you from.
I mean, I was born in the Bronx, so all my family in the Bronx. I'm a Delaware nigga though, so don't get it twisted.
Yeah, he reps Delaware, y'all.
Delaware.
Um
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Delaware is cool. Shout out to Delaware, man. Um, it's so crazy because you said that you spent the holiday with your mom and daughter. When I first became friends with you on Twitter, I think your daughter was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, yo, it's like people always hit me up on Twitter like, "Yo, it's crazy. I'm watching your daughter grow up." Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
She was like 2 or 3, and now she's 15. So I literally watched her grow up on social media. That's so crazy.
I started getting on Twitter. What was that? 2008, 2009.
Yeah, well, I joined 2009, and that's when I linked with you. But
Yeah.
we're gonna get into how you got into Twitter because you have some claim to fame. But we're gonna get into that. But I just wanted to see how you was doing, see how your Thanksgiving was. Did you do any Black Friday shopping?
I went to Marshalls to get some socks. Ended up buying a lamp. So that's all I did. No deals. I feel like it wasn't even no deals this year.
Yeah, the math wasn't mathing for me, so I ain't doing no Black Friday shopping.
I ain't see no 50% off and 70% off. I ain't see them type of deals.
They trying to re-up. They trying to re-up from the
Yeah,
VIG.
you know shit real now, so they can't be giving out deals like that.
Definitely. But what I've noticed is Black Friday extends all the way through Christmas. Like we'll find some deals for Christmas.
Because then you got Black Friday, and then you got Small Business Saturday, and
Yep.
Cyber
Monday.
It's crazy. I think I'm gonna fuck with Cyber Monday though.
That's what I've been doing. I've literally been doing the last couple years for my Christmas shopping, I've been doing it all online. Because you know me, I live in New York City. I don't want people on top of me. I even before COVID-19 and all that stuff, I just wasn't the type of person that likes all that kind of commotion and stuff. So I've been doing the Amazons and stuff. I told my cousins, whatever your kids want, send me the link. I'll get it gift wrapped and mailed out to y'all.
Facts.
And that's how I've been doing it. But yes, happy holidays to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all have a safe Black Friday weekend whenever y'all listening to this. Another thing, I wanted to check on you because I do listen to your podcast. Real quick, if y'all want to tap in, I mean, we're going to tap into his podcast, but his podcast is called Church for the Wild, and they also have merch. LWA, Leave Women Alone. We can talk about what this means.
Shout out to Jamisa. Shout out to Coach Marley. Shout out to DJ No Answer. Church for the Wild podcast. Don't Listen to Me that's my podcast under Church for the Wild. Shout out to Plums Radio, Peace Living. all that.
Yo, and his podcast is on all streaming platforms. It's called Church for the Wild and it's super dope. But I did want to check on you because I was listening and you said that you had COVID. So I want to see how you're recovering from COVID, if you had any kind of residual, any type of like residual symptoms or whatever.
Yeah, I had COVID. August 1st, I had COVID.
Damn.
And it wasn't that bad. The worst part about it was the muscle aches.
Okay.
I would say that fucked me up. I stayed in the crib all August. I needed to chill. It came at the perfect time because I was wilding out all summer. I was doing too much, and it hit me like, nigga, sit your ass down.
You was unvaxxed and waxed. You were just out there.
Yeah, it caught me. It was only a matter of time.
Yo, do you want to tell my audience the same story that you told that you said on your podcast about what you did when you had COVID?
Oh, I took some shrooms.
Yo, he's crazy.
I mean, I had time to myself in the crib, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a little trip.
Yo, who the F does shrooms when they have COVID? And yo, peace in the chat, everybody. I can't see y'all right now, but I love y'all. I'm gonna watch the replay. But y'all, he had freaking COVID and took shrooms. I don't know who does that. I don't think I ever heard of nothing like that, nerd.
It just was. I was chilling. I was in the crib, lonely. I said, you know what? It hasn't been a while. Let me just go ahead and dabble in it. It was a good time.
Yo, I cannot even believe you did some shit like that. Like, I never would imagine. But thank God you're okay. You're COVID free. Do you have your sense of taste and smell and all that stuff?
Yeah, I didn't lose none of that. It felt like it was my allergies real bad. And I had muscle aches. The muscle aches was the worst. So they was waking me up at night. So
damn, that shit was trying to break your body down.
Yeah, but I'm still here.
How do you feel about vaccinations? Are you vaxxed and waxed or what? You don't have to say if you waxed or not.
You know what? I'm pro do whatever. I'm pro. Okay. If you don't want to get it, don't. If you want to get it. I'm pro. I'm not vaxxed. I ain't scared to say I'm not vaxxed.
Okay.
It is what it is. My pops and my mom be bugging me about it. I just be like, just chill. Everybody relax.
You just gotta stay safe and stay. I mean, where you live, it's easy to stay away from people. Like, I think that when it comes down to vaccinations, and we won't stay on this long, but my opinion of it is you have to take in different factors. One, geographically, like where do you live? If you live in a place like New York City, 9 times out of 10, you're at a higher risk. If you're like overweight, you have to take into considerations health issues for yourself. There's some people that are diabetic, some people that have pre-existing conditions. So you have to add that to where you live. And, you just have to add up the pros and cons and do what's best for you.
And so are you pro-vax?
Oh, I've been vaxxed and boosted. I'm vaxxed, waxed, and boosted. Because for me, you know what it is, nerd? I didn't want to roll the dice and bet on myself, because when you look at the monster, which is COVID-19, and you look at yourself, you're not going to ginger root yourself through COVID-19. You ain't going to take no shots of wheatgrass, and that ain't going to work. So I looked at it. I said, I got a couple of LBs on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm heavier. So that already is a disadvantage. I live in New York City. That's another disadvantage. Do I want to roll the dice and bet on myself that if I catch COVID, I can make it through? Or do I want to bet on the vaccine, and I'd rather take my chances with the vaccine?
I feel you.
So that's what led me to making my decision.
I get a lot of flack on Twitter because like I like to pick at the vax people, but it's just all fun. But they get mad at me.
Yes, I know. Oh, we're gonna get into that. Listen, I want the people to know. I want you to start from the beginning of your internet career. I want you, and listen, I'm not going to ask you that open-ended question saying like, tell me about yourself. But I know that when you started all the way back before Twitter in the blogging days of the internet, because you're more, I feel like you excel with writing. You're a good writer. And so tell me a little bit about when you first came on the internet and discovered the blogs and what you did?
Well, first of all, internet career sounds crazy. That shit sounds crazy.
Yo, your internet, listen, I don't care what you say, nerd. You try to be low.
That sounds crazy. That sounds real crazy. But I take it though. Damn, the beginning.
The first beginning, when you first, how old were you when you first started?
When I first like fucking around on the internet.
Yeah, when you started the blogging and everything. That was the beginning, right? Or did you do something before that?
I mean, yo, on some real shit, I like to always say, like, I've been digital for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I was around for the AOL chat room days. Like,
Yep.
So I would have to say it started from that. I will always be on AOL.
And what you was doing on AOL?
In them fucking chat rooms. Yo, let me tell you something. Them AOL chat rooms, yo, they was wild. It was like the Wild Wild West. And this is
I
before
used to be in there.
It was wild. If you was there, you know.
That was 2000-ish. I was in college. That was like 2000, 2000 and what, 4, 3?
Nah, it was before that.
I don't think I was there because I remember.
I'm talking about when you had to get on a computer dial-up type shit.
I wasn't. I remember
before AIM.
Oh yeah, nah, I wasn't really on it like that.
So I started then, like I was trolling then, like as a kid on that shit.
Word.
And then I made my way to MySpace.
Oh yes, okay. Yep.
You know, MySpace was when you think about it, MySpace was the beginning of the end. Like the world was never the same when that shit hit.
We was learning coding.
I wasn't really, you know how you had your popping people on MySpace, your popular people. I wasn't one of them. You know what I'm saying? But I had my little lane where I would post. You know how they had the blog section at the top.
Yep.
So I would post my little blogs and shit about rap. And I started getting people commenting. Then I started getting people like arguing, debating. So I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? I might have something here.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always post just like little questions or just shit to stir up the pot. And then from there, that's how I got the blog spot.
Okay.
Trying to feel like MySpace, it wasn't enough. Like I needed more because my shit was getting heavy.
Tell me some of the things you started out with on MySpace. Like, what were some of the names of your blogs? And because I know you're super creative.
I don't even remember. I think it was just as simple as me it would just be Nas versus Jay-Z, them type debates.
Yes. Just to get people together, right? To talk.
Just to get people to argue. So I did that. Then from there I went to Blogspot. Remember that?
Yep.
Blogspot.com. I don't even remember what the name of my first blog was, man. But I started doing blogs there, and that's when I started to get cool with like It's Biscuit.
Yep.
He would comment on my blogs in the comments, and then you had people like I'm about to name drop.
And when he does, shout out to them too.
Oh man, It's Biscuit. That nigga, he's a legend.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Sycamore.
Okay.
Sycamore would be in my comments. So many people. Damn.
You started getting some traction then.
But those were the main two, Sycamore and It's Biscuit. So I had a little wave going on there. Now, while I'm doing all this, those were kind of like the mainstream of the internet, like Blogspot and MySpace. But I was on the hip hop message boards, like the underground of the shit, like allhiphop.com message board, SOHH.
Oh, I remember that. That's where I used to get my news from.
That was like the underground. Like if you knew about that, you was like on some underground shit.
Yeah, that's why I used to get SOHH is where I got all my hip hop news from. So, and Just Fab, I think it was called.
So yeah, so when I'm doing MySpace and Blogspot, I'm in SOHA. So I'm getting my name. My name is getting kind of lit in the message boards, and that's all I cared about. I didn't care about MySpace. To be lit on a hip hop message board was like,
yes,
you was
because
that.
that's what we had at that time.
So I'm on there. I don't even know I'm not good at guessing like the years and the time period, but I got lit on there. So time go by, whatever. I'm lit on SOHH, whatever.
What was your name at the time?
Oh man.
Was it Nerd at the Cool Table?
Nah, it wasn't, man. You know what? I don't even remember because it was to a point where I was trolling so much, like I had multiple screen names on that shit. Like
Okay, Nerd was a little troublemaker.
That's just how it was. That's what you did on there. So within all that trolling I was doing on there, I got in. I'm making a long story short because
talk, Nerd, please. People need to hear. You know what I'm saying? The whole how you got to where you at, and this is part of it. So go ahead.
All right. Well, all right. Let me see. All right. So while I'm on SOHH, shout out to SOHH. It's still a lot of people. There's a lot of people like that. That's from that era that's still moving around. You know what I mean? They won't say nothing, but I know.
The chat is loving you right now.
All right, so I'm on SOHH, whatever. I'm on it every day. Like I would run the streets, but when I would come home, I would instantly be on a computer all night on that shit. So I'm on there, and I'm trying to get this right. I think I got into it with a kid on there, just like some internet back and forth shit.
Right.
We got into it, and I remember people telling me like, "Yo, don't fuck around with that kid because he's a hacker. Like he's from Anonymous, 4chan. If anybody know Anonymous, that's like a real. You got to Google that shit. It's like a real serious organization that hack government and all that.
So I know the story, y'all. Just keep listening.
This probably not exactly how it went, but I'm just trying to put it together as good as I can. They tell me, they like, yo, leave the kid alone, like because he with 4chan and he can hack this whole shit. He can hack your name, all this shit. I'm like, I'm not like he's just an internet kid, like he's a nerd. So we go back and forth, and then it got to the point where I egged the kid on so much, he ended up, not just him, but the whole Anonymous 4chan. I hate even saying these niggas' names. I feel like these niggas gonna pop up.
They not. You protected by God. Don't worry. Nobody watching. Nobody. They ain't watching my shit anyway.
So they ended up hacking the whole SOHH, like crashed it for like a whole. I think they crashed it for like a whole summer, a whole year.
And y'all gotta understand that SOHH at the time was
It was like the best. It was the best. It was like I can't even describe.
It was the like hub. It was the homeroom.
It was like the feeling you get from Instagram and Twitter, all that shit in one. Like that's all we had. So they hacked the shit, took it down. It was all over MTV News. Like it was crazy. FBI got involved. They ended up.
FBI got involved, y'all. Do y'all hear what he said?
Yeah, because it was like they did like some hate crime shit. It was wild, but they ended up hacking my MySpace. They fucking sent pizzas to my crib.
Sent pizzas to his crib, hacked his MySpace. Like they really
they put my name on like a sex offender list.
Yo, that's crazy.
Like, wow. Like they made like a week, they made my life live in hell and shit. So
that's scary.
You can Google all this shit. It's all shit you can Google. So yeah, they hacked SOHA, shut that down. It got to the point where other websites like All Hip Hop, they IP banned me because they like I was guilty they blamed me for the whole thing.
They felt like you was a liability, probably.
They felt like I ruined, like I was ending hip hop on the internet. Like, it was that much of a big deal. So I'm kind of like a refugee. Like I'm like, oh, they hacked my blog spot too. They hacked my blog spot. So I'm like a refugee. I'm like, what the fuck do I do? They hacked my MySpace. I can't go on no hip hop sites because they banned every hip hop site banned my IP address. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I still had the itch to like get just to interact with people.
Absolutely.
Here goes Twitter. This is how I find Twitter. I used to see Sycamore. I think he used to post it on his blogs, like a little widget at the bottom of his blog. It had a little Twitter widget.
Right.
Clicked on that. I'm like, damn, what's this? Like,
what year was this?
It might have been like
probably 08, 09, right?
Like 08 or 09.
Okay.
I think you check my Twitter. I think it say I'm a member since 08, so it might have been 08.
Okay, yeah, because I got involved in 09, but we'll get to that. So this was 08, so you discovered Twitter.
So I get to Twitter. It was just like it was like fresh land. Like it was like, yo, what the hell is this? All the people was doing on it, they would just it's not how we tweet today. It was more so people would just post their links to their blogs.
Right.
That's what people did. Like, check my new blog out, whatever. So I hopped on there, I signed up. And when I signed up, I'm doing the usual thing. I'm doing what everybody else is doing. Check out my whatever. Yes. And then out of nowhere, I just start saying, like, why don't I just start just typing regular shit? Like, I'm just chilling. Like, I don't want to post a blog link. I just want to say what I'm thinking or what I'm doing. So I started doing that. And then, other people that was on there, they just start following suit. So we all just started our little, I don't know what you would call it, our little family. Wayno was there.
Yep.
Who else was there?
There was a lot of people. I don't know who you started with, but when I got on in 09, and I was already I was following Joe Budden. That's how
Joe Budden was there.
Because you was part of that crew, because following Joe Budden kind of merged me into finding you. Who else at the time? It was you, Officially Ice, Joe.
Ice was there.
Relly was with y'all
too.
Was
there.
Relly.
I don't know if Relly was there from the beginning.
Not from the beginning. He came later, but he was part of that conglomerate that y'all had.
Black Twitter is that's what we called it.
Yes. But at the time, it wasn't called Black Twitter. Y'all was just running shit with
we didn't call it. I didn't officially name it Black Twitter till years after.
Right.
And then they made Black. That's a whole other story. What they did to Black Twitter, like they ruined. It ain't what it used to be.
I haven't been on Twitter like that since Instagram kind of launched in 2013, 2014. That's when I started leaving Twitter alone. But before Instagram, I was so addicted to Twitter. I was obsessed. I could say what I feel. I was linking with all of these different friends online. You were actually one, I would have to say, probably like the first couple people I followed. One of them was definitely Joe Budden, because I've been watching him since Joe Budden TV, and he was
he's a Twitter original.
Right, he's a Twitter OG, and I've been watching him since JBTV, and he was always funny to me and entertaining.
Honestly, Joe Budden, he's the originator of a lot of shit.
Yes, he is.
A lot of shit. He was on SOHH.
I believe it. And he had JBTV on YouTube before people were even like on that wave. You know what I'm saying? So I just remember like you being one of my first, online friends that I didn't know in real life. Like other people, when I signed up for my Twitter, it was like just my crew of friends that were already on there, but it was a few. And then it's like, they're at the cool table. I'm like, who is this guy? He's fucking hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So me and you started becoming friends on there. And then the years to come, I just saw your evolution, the waves that y'all had started. I want to talk about some of the ones that I have them written down here. Some of the ones that I just remember. Well, I know that you coined thick thighs save lives. That was you, right?
I don't know. Maybe it was.
I think it was
I was a
personally.
big. I remember it was an era where I was big on the thighs. Like I was the first one to really start talking about. You right about that.
I think you listen. I remember that.
I had the thighs and eyes. I had started
The thighs and eyes. That was your shit. And now I see that on merch. Like there's this curvy girl website I follow and they make merch. Thick thighs save lives. You see it everywhere. And I'm like, yo, that was nerve.
I was the first appreciating the thighs for sure.
Absolutely.
To do that online.
Another
I'm taking that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Take it. I'm giving you your flowers, man.
Give me that flower. Give me that flower.
Another one that y'all and even before the stuff that you guys that you coined, you was part of those legendary pool parties that Joe Budden, used to throw, which was also viral moments on Twitter and on Instagram and stuff as well. So
I was at the first two maybe. I got real drunk at the first one.
Another phrase that you coined that I'm reading right here that I remember when you did, well, not another phrase. Well, I remember that you started that wave of white toenail polish for sure.
I did. I started white toenail.
You started that.
Give me that flower. Give me that flower.
Yes, I'm giving you your bouquet. So all of y'all ladies that got that white toenail polish, this is the young man that you can thank right here because he definitely started that wave. Because Nerd is the type, he got a lot. His biggest platform is Twitter, right? You have a lot. I think that's like where you have your most followers, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's not even.
So Twitter's Nerd's biggest platform. So he has a lot of people following him, and anything he starts, people just follow, and it just goes viral. Another thing that I just thought was hilarious. I
just feel weird. I feel weird because I don't do it. I don't do it to try to make it some big thing. Like
I know, but that's because you know what it is. You have a large platform. You're very creative and you're funny, and this is your niche. So it's like you start waves without trying, and then people
I see the white toes everywhere and I just be like, that's wild.
Like word. And then
all I said is I liked it one night. I was like, yo, it's something about white toenail. Like, it's just something. And then it went crazy. That was years ago.
But you know what it is? Also, you say these things, but you also have such a great relationship with the people who follow you that you'll say things like you'll love the white toenail polish, and then you'll have your female people send you pictures. So they'll send you pictures with the white toenail polish, and certain engagement that you have, it kind of it gets that snowball rolling as to where
I started that too. Telling women to send me a pic of certain things. I started that, but
yep. You was like, send me a pic of your thighs. They be sending you all types of pics on Twitter.
I was terrorizing. It really was.
What's your Twitter? Say that now.
My Twitter is at @cooltable NERDATTHE. No, actually, I'm sorry. It's too many letters. I need to change it. It's nerd@cooltable.
Right. So you're gonna put nerd@cooltable without the. I'm gonna put at the end of this video. I'm gonna put
nerd@cooltable.
Yes, I'm gonna put all your links in the description box so people can tap in with you at the end of the video anyway. But that's your Twitter.
I always think that my Twitter is Nerd Nash because that's the name I got on there. So anytime I gotta say it out, I'm like,
nerd@cooltable. Another thing that I thought was straight up hilarious is you calling Love and Hip Hop big butts and arguments. That is freaking hilarious.
I didn't remember that. Yeah, how you finding all this?
Nerd, I've known you since 2009. Hello. And
that's
yes, So big butts and arguments is freaking hilarious.
I must have said that. That sounded like something I would tweet in like, what year was that?
I listen, I'm not good at years. Probably 2013, 2014, during the Jocelyn and Stevie era, maybe.
And that was before Big Butts got. Now Big Butts is like, you gotta have a fat ass.
What you think about the women who have, BBLs and stuff like that? Do you prefer natural or do you prefer?
Do whatever you want. I don't judge. I don't say nothing. Women, I stay out of women's business.
I hear you, nerd. That's a good freaking answer.
It don't matter what I like. It don't matter what I like.
But as long as it looks good, right, nerd?
It don't matter.
I hear you being politically correct over there.
It don't matter. Do what you. I stay out of women's business.
Nah, I hear you. So now, okay, so you in the thick of Twitter since 2008. How do you feel about okay, so after Twitter, Instagram launched, how did you feel about that wave?
Twitter was, Instagram. That was a beautiful time when Instagram first started. Because remember back then, people just took regular pics. Like they took pics of the sky,
right,
or the fucking grass, or your plate. Remember that was big. That was a big time. People
it was.
Of their food, and then it just turned into I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it did. People just started with the plates. I think the food plates was big in the beginning.
Yeah, the food plates was major. Like if your page ain't had no food plates, your shit wasn't a problem.
Word, but I feel like Instagram gave a face to what Twitter did. Okay, this is how I feel. I feel like Twitter, you kind of got an idea of what a person's mind was like because these were their thoughts. Right? And then when Instagram launched, it was more of a vanity app. You can see them. You can see them now.
When people start adding the cap to it, and that fucked it up.
Right, because now people are buying tripods and ring lights and all of these like picture apps and photoshops and all of this.
All you had was just a couple filters you could use that came with the app. Now it's just, but I mean, we can't be the old people complaining.
Right.
So we just gotta accept it.
Yeah, it was crazy.
On my first my first Instagram account, I had like 11,000 followers years ago, and I deleted it.
Yeah, I remember that. Didn't you?
I was thinking, like, why did I delete it? Like, but I think I was so sick of Instagram at one point that I just left it, and I came back and started all over.
I remember that. I think it was everybody from Black Twitter that merged over to Instagram, and it seemed like you, Ice, Relly, a bunch of you guys really didn't care. Y'all don't care for Instagram the way y'all care for Twitter.
I think we saw early that it was bullshit.
Yeah.
But not even that. Like I'm not a picture type person.
Right.
I'm really not. Like no matter how hard I can try to be, I'm just not that type of person.
Yeah, so you strive more with, I guess engaging. I mean, I guess to a degree you can engage with your followers on Instagram, but it's more of a visual. It's all giving them pictures and reels and lives.
Yep. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at engaging on Instagram on my stories. I feel like I'm starting to use that more, but I'm more of a. It's just Twitter is just. It's easy to get your point across.
Right. You're more of like a writer and a reader as opposed to just talking. And
I'm not good at pics. Like I don't know what pose to use. Like I don't know what to do.
And speaking of talking, at what point did you decide to launch your podcast? Tell me a little bit about your podcast, the name of it, when you launched it, when the idea came, because there's a lot of waves within your podcast too that you guys have. You guys are so creative over there. I thoroughly enjoy your podcast. It's called Don't Listen to Me, and it's Church for the Wild. Tell me a little bit about your podcast and how you got involved in that.
I think we started Church for the Wild 2000. Oh, it's been so long. I'm bad with dates, but I think we maybe like 7, 8 years in.
So you've been doing this a minute.
I've been doing it for a minute. And shout out to Jamisa. She was telling me even before we started, she was always like, yo, you need to start a podcast. Like, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. It's too much talk. Like, I don't know what to talk about. Like,
you're more of a writer.
So she's like, just do it. So years after she brought it up, I ended up saying, all right, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. So me, her, my man Ron, shout out to Reverend Ron.
I remember he started in the beginning, Rev Ron. He was one of the OGs with you guys.
Rev Ron, yep, for sure. We started a podcast. We kind of kicked open the door as far as regular people doing podcasts.
You did, because at the time it was like, I think
Combat Jack and them, which is he a super legend.
Who?
Combat Jack.
He was the first hip hop he was like the first podcast I listened to.
He was a legend, so he was already popping. He been popping, but I meant like far as like just your everyday people.
Right. Yep.
We came, and then Joe Button came right after, and then Tax, and then it was over after that.
And I thoroughly enjoy your podcast. I like the new people that I don't want to call them new, but I've been listening since Rev Ron was on there, and you guys' podcast is very interesting. But before I get more too deep into your podcast, which I want to go back to because there's some things I want to talk about with that. But I don't know if you remember this, but I do. Tell me about and you did this a long time ago. You interviewed Gilly the Kid, didn't you?
Oh, I don't think I interviewed him, but I got like a drop from him.
Yeah, you got like a video of him playing pool or something, right?
Yeah, shout out to Killer Vision. Shout out to, I'm trying to think who I may have been there with. Maddie Gates, maybe Bobby Dons, rest in peace. But I ran into Gilly, and my man Killer Vision was like, yo, he introduced us and he did a drop for me. And this was years ago, and I was so hyped off that drop. So, yeah, that's crazy you found it. I forgot about that.
I've been knew about that for years already. I just remembered it and I put it on my page. I was like, yeah, because I didn't know if that came from like a full interview, and then I didn't know where it was, but
because I kicked it with him that whole night. He cool. Gilly one of the coolest like celebs I ever met, and he been a legend even before the podcast. Like he been a legend.
Definitely.
So I met him and he did a drop for me. Yeah, that was dope. You gotta send me. I gotta look that up. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, you need to go. I told you gotta catalog all your stuff. You gotta put, some type of thing together.
Some of that old stuff on YouTube, it just be like, damn, it'd be so wild to see. Like, it's crazy.
How time just flies, right? What do you think about it? Does. What you think about Gilly's podcast now? Like, do you listen to it?
Yeah, that's one of the podcasts I listen to for sure. He's just naturally funny, so it's gonna work.
That's what's up right there. So going back to your podcast, I love the segments you have. I want to hear from Dr. X in a little while to my listeners here. If you check out Church for the Wild, sometimes Nerd does this segment on his podcast where he gives love and relationship advice. He puts on Carl Thomas Emotional, and he gets into.
I don't like to say it's advice because I'm not no expert. I just give them from my experiences.
Exactly. I got some questions for Dr. X later, but another thing that I like from your podcast, what is that y'all got? The Street Report?
The Outside Report.
The Outside Report. Tell me what that's about. Like, because y'all have y'all subscribers go out and report to y'all.
It was just something we started. It's pretty much just our listeners running back news, that shit they done seen in the streets, fights, arguments, just wild shit. It's just an inside joke we have with our listeners.
Yes, I love that. Y'all got to go check that out because he got a lot of stuff on there that is him and his co-host. They're super funny. They're super creative.
Marley.
Listen, shout out to Marley. Wait, I don't want to be like one of those people that can't say the guy's name right. Like when they say Morley.
A-L-L-Y.
Morley. Okay. Yo, shout out to him. But you know, when he said he wear uptowns without socks, I had to kind of side eye that. I kind of hit nerd up like, yo, what's wrong with your man? He ain't wearing socks with his uptowns.
Shout out to Coach Marley.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Marley. But and check out Nerds Podcast. I'm gonna put all the links in the description. So let's talk a little bit about music this year. First of all, I want to know, I guess, because I haven't spoken to you in a while, we could backtrack. What do you think about the whole Drake, Kanye thing? Their albums dropping, what's going on with them right now? And this whole like Drake insinuating he slept with Kim, Kanye, and his Drink Champs interview, this whole kind of thing with Drake and Kanye. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think it's a whack beef. It's a soft beef. Like, it's just corny all around. Like,
yeah.
It's just crazy that these kids, this is what they're like, this is their beef. This is their hip hop beef.
This is their greats. This is their Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, well, it's good to see they squashed it. They talked it out. I wasn't super impressed by either one of their albums this year. So
which one did you like better?
I like Donda better.
Really?
I wasn't feeling it. Just I know Drake is great and he made great music, but it was just like, you doing this again? Like, I don't know. Right now, I don't feel like hearing that shit.
I feel like both of those albums didn't really wow me. I feel like
when I heard it was just like, oh, he about to do, like, he's gonna do what he do. It's like,
right. I feel like Kanye had the stadium music and better like production. And I feel like Drake had better lyrics. If you're searching for more lyricism, Drake was popping his ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think with Drake, like you said, it was the same formula. It was more so like claiming my throne, popping my ish. But I feel like
I ain't listening to it right now. When he drop again, I'll give him another chance. Or I listen to his old shit. He's still the GOAT, so it is what it is.
But I feel like on Drake's album, like Knife Talk is probably with Project Pat and 21 Savage. That's probably my favorite song on Drake's album. And then Kanye, I feel like Off the Grid is my favorite song. I feel like Fabio Foreign had verse of the year.
Joint with Locks and Jay Electronica. That's hard. I've been on some West Side Gun shit right now.
Okay.
I'm fucking with West Side Gun, Bodie James. Thugger album hot. Drake and Kanye, they didn't do. After like a week or two, I was over Kanye album.
Right.
So I just kept it moving.
Same. I feel like when I listen to you guys in your podcast, I don't know if you have like a playlist, but you guys should do a playlist and put it out on all the platforms, because when you have DJ No Answer go into like a song or something, I discover a lot of music that I like from stuff that y'all put up on there.
Yeah, hopefully DJ No Answer sees this and
send it to him.
He will drop a mix.
Yeah, drop a mix. I'll send you the link of where you can import it in there and then blast it out on the platforms, because y'all.
Yes, DJ No Answer, drop a mix.
Drop a mix. Drop a Church of the Wild mix, because that's how I get a lot of like my new songs of what to tap into and stuff, because I can find myself just being real snobbish when it comes to hip hop and just staying in my era and not really wanting to branch out. Like I said, I think Fabio Foreign had verse of the year on Off the Grid. He really impressed me with that. And so I was. His
verse was fire. Huh? I didn't know he could go in like that.
Yo, he went in, nerd. He went in.
He did.
Yo, he went the fuck in. I was like, what?
I didn't know he had that in him.
He didn't bring no drill with that. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Kim Kardashian dating Pete Davidson?
You know
That's
what?
like the big news now. Speaking of the Kardashians and Kanye.
I think to be honest, I'm gonna keep to be super honest, like with Kanye being bipolar, I have family members that's bipolar, and that shit is hard to deal with. So she probably just need a break. Like I can't take it no more. I need a break.
Who? Kim or Kanye?
Huh?
Who
No,
needed a break? Both of them?
I think K needs a break.
Yeah.
She probably needed a break, you know. And he, when your woman want a break from you, niggas, that's when we go crazy. So that's all we seeing. He just going crazy. She out having fun, laughing, smiling. I've seen it 1,000 times, and I done been through it, so it's not a big deal. She'll probably come back, and he learned from his mistakes, and
I hope so. I hope so. I really hope that a coworker said to me that she hopes Kanye doesn't get on his Chris Brown-ish with feeling like he's not going to get her back and then start wilding.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
Pardon me.
No.
I have to flag that part. But yeah, yeah,
God
I mean, we wish him well.
God bless him, because I've been through it. So I'm just hoping he can stay strong. It's going to be a long road.
But you know what? He's got options too. I mean, he's a billionaire. So it's not like he can't. I mean, he did say on Nori's podcast that Kim's still his wife. He made sure he said that. That's still my wife. You know what I'm saying? So oh yeah, before I forget, this is Nerd's merch. It says focus on yourself.
That's the original.
Yeah. I'm surprised. You know how long I had this, and the stuff is not even cracked. And I watched this like 1,000 times. This is a good quality merch.
A lot of people who bought the first one, they still have it.
Yeah, I've had this since like what, 2016? Like 6 years already, and I've watched this so many times, and it's not messed up. And if you guys order from Nerd, you could get your focus on yourself stickers.
I'll be sending those out to so many people. I just send them out randomly to people.
Yeah, this is kind of dope. You've sent me lighters. Listen, if I didn't want to rummage around and mess up with the audio, because we're recording our podcast at the same time, I think I have lighters from you too that say focus on yourself. I love this logo. I believe in this logo, and that's why I support. That's what people need to do, focus on themselves. Yeah, so anyway, I don't mean to get like ADD, like how I felt like Kanye was getting in the Nori video where I'm all over the place. I'm gonna reel it back in. So Kim and Pete, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to their relationship. And
God bless. I just hope he all
right. Word up, man. Oh, that's so crazy. Nerd, I did want to ask you, since we spoke about from the beginning to Instagram, the new wave I feel like everybody is on is Clubhouse. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Nerd is the one that gave me the invitation to get on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was invite only. And
I see you lit on there now.
Let me tell you something. Clubhouse got to be my biggest platform. That's where I have my most supporters at. Yeah, definitely Clubhouse. And I found my niche there. I've met
you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to Clubhouse.
Come back to Clubhouse. I feel like when I first got it, go ahead, Nerd.
I'm gonna come back.
Yo, Clubhouse, come back. I feel like when I first joined Clubhouse, you had your Delaware crew on there. Y'all used to do rooms and stuff. And I feel like I stopped seeing you on there.
You know what? I got on there. I felt like what made me come on there, because I think when it first got popping, it was like in the thick of COVID, right?
Yes, we were in the pandemic, because I remember I was furloughed from my job.
We was deep in it, so it was kind of. And I think during that time, I think I was suspended on Twitter.
I don't remember. I don't know, because I haven't really been on Twitter.
I couldn't even tweet, so I came on there, and then I found I found my tribe, people I rock with. But then people start screenshotting the rooms I'm in. I'm like, damn, like I can't be in a room, I can't listen. I was in this Tory Lanez. I was in a Tory Lanez room, and I don't know what it was. I think it was something about over the shooting or whatever. Who's wrong? Who right? And I make somehow I'm on stage because you know how you could be on stage or you're in the audience. So
Yep.
I'm on stage, not even saying nothing though. I'm just on stage. Somebody take a screenshot, put it on Twitter, saying I'm defending Tory Lanez. I'm like, come on. This what they do. So I stayed away from them. I'd say nope.
You're too lit to be low. You're too lit on other platforms to be low in the rooms. You would need a burner. See, for that, you got to make a burner Clubhouse account. So you can just ear hustle.
I wasn't thinking like that. I was being a nigga. I was being a typical nigga and wanted to just be on stage. I could have just stayed my ass in the audience. And
Nah, I feel you, yo. But I just, shout out to my Clubhouse family. Shout out to Real Relationship Talk. What New York sounds like.
I'm gonna come back on it.
Come back and I have to thank you for inviting me because I met so many dope people on Clubhouse. And but again, talking is my thing, nerd, and you know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm a talker, you know what I'm saying? So
the listener, so I would just be on there like, just listening to shit.
Right.
Be in the conspiracy theory room. That was my room.
Okay, yeah, I used to be in there. I used to be going in there like, what the hell is nerd doing in here? What is going on in here?
You used to always be like, yo, it was like 3 a.m. You still in there? I'm like, bro, that's what I'm into. That's what I'm into.
Word. And it's but I enjoy the moderating the rooms and stuff like that. And yeah, it's so crazy because you said you heard that My Son and Whack room that I did.
Yeah.
You heard it on YouTube and all that. You didn't even realize that was me moderating.
So you went viral.
Yeah, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't even know Whack was gonna come in there. But that brings me to my next question. Are you tapped in? Do you kind of like see what's going on in Twitter? I mean, on Clubhouse with Whack doing like that Karen Civil room and all of the messy.
I see. You know how I see it from YouTube.
Yeah, when they rip the rooms and put it on YouTube. Yeah.
That's the only way because I haven't been on Clubhouse and mad. Like I just opened the app now and I'm looking like, damn, this shit look like it's totally different now.
You have to, you know what it is on Clubhouse? You got to find your tribe. I mean, there is the whole like messy side of Clubhouse, the whole love and hip hop side or the trolling side rooms where they're name calling people, like, or they're calling people's names out in the title and 1,000 people come in there to listen. Like I think Wack did a room today about Freaky Zeke and I don't know. It's just a lot of that kind of stuff going on. But
I'm coming back.
I got to ping you into the stuff. But there's a lot of dope people that you could get to meet. Like, I guess you could say like people, I was always like in my friend group, the only one that was like really like on the podcast wave or wanting to do my own podcast or being into the music business or being creative. But then when you get on Clubhouse, you start meeting like-minded people like you and you come together and now you're in a whole entire group of people who are on the same thing as you. And then you guys inspire each other. So that's kind of cool. And then you can meet doctors and lawyers on there. I've met relationship coaches and I just met so many people that are like, some of these people are like family to me now. I'm almost a year in Clubhouse and I'm like, holy crap. Like you just meet such dope people because I feel like in real life, these aren't people that would come together and be in the same room. Right. And it was like, it was dope, especially, when it launched last year during the pandemic, because people were in the house and they had a chance to like connect and stuff like that. So definitely shout out to Clubhouse. I really appreciate that invite.
Like the first 3 weeks I was on it, I felt like that was like the greatest. Because it was like a secret almost.
Yeah, it was exclusive. That's when Joe Button was on there and Fendi and.
That feeling ain't last long.
I know, right? Everybody got up out of there. They said, wait a second, this is too chatty patty for me. But you know what, nerd? I got some more questions for you. I want you to tap into your Dr. X vibe. I'm not gonna keep you here all night.
All right.
We're gonna talk about some relationship stuff real quick, and then are you in a rush, nerd?
No, I'm chilling.
All right, good. You can smoke. Feel free to smoke if you want to spark up again.
I'm hitting it every now and then. I ain't trying to overdo it.
Okay. All right. So I got some questions for Dr. X. Like I said, Dr. X is Nerd Nash's alter ego. You can check it out.
Dr. X was created. Let me tell you what
Tell me.
Dr. X was created out of all my hurt from my past loves. You know what I mean? It's all my hurt that I suffered just balled into one force, and that's Dr. X.
What was I remember when you went through that part of your life, that
part. You can go listen to it. It's all documented.
So that's how Dr. X was born.
That's how Dr. X was born.
I appreciate Dr. X. I feel like Dr. X has a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom. And if he didn't go through what he went through, he wouldn't be able to give the advice and I know you don't like using the word advice, but I guess you could say like the insight and the feedback that he gives. So yeah, I got some questions for Dr. X. So Dr. X, do you think past relationship secrets should be kept hidden?
What do you mean by that?
Like past relationship secrets, like any type of, secrets. I don't know. Maybe you are.
If I'm with you and we split up, do I keep your secrets?
Well, do you think past relationship secrets should be kept hidden? Like, let's say, for instance, I don't know. I got with a guy, and in his past relationship, he had a threesome with his girl and another man. Should like certain things, do you feel like should be kept secret, or should you put all your secrets out there?
Oh no, I mean, I think that should be kept secret. There's no need to. I mean, unless you want to share, there's no need to.
Okay.
No need to. Nah.
So past relationship secrets, some stuff should be kept hidden.
Just don't say secrets.
Okay, so past relationship experiences, some should be kept hidden, and some, it really depends what you want to do.
Right.
Okay, I could dig that. Now, Dr. X, what would you define as cheating?
What would I define as cheating? Doing something you know your partner won't want you to do. Doing it behind her back is cheating.
Okay, so
even if I knew, like, say you my girl and I know you don't like me, it could be something so sneaky as like commenting on a woman's Instagram, but then I go do it on some sneaky shit, like on a 30-week ago pic. That's cheating.
I hear you, Dr. X. I hope whoever watches the replay and they are a guy or
whatever your partner doesn't like you to do, and you do it behind their back, that's cheating.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. When does a relationship become exclusive?
When y'all agree, when y'all have the talk.
Okay. So, do you feel like there's a time limit, or do you feel like exclusivity could be just right off the first night? The first night y'all vibing, y'all smash, now we exclusive the next day.
Nah, I would never expect
that. Hey, there's some people, they get married in 3 weeks.
You gotta have a talk. You gotta have a sit down and talk. Like, yo, what we doing? We locking in, or that's all you can do. You can't just guess, because guessing gonna leave you.
That's so true.
Out here sad.
Both people have to be on the same page at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think I only had three relationship questions for Dr. X, and then I have a couple of red flag or deal breaker questions for you. And then after that, if you want to wrap up, we can, or we can still stay here talking, whatever you want to do. So this is some questions I have. Okay. They're still good friends with their ex. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Red flag.
Red flag? Got it. Okay. They're obsessed with conspiracy theories. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
You know what? I'm all for the conspiracy, but if you too, I know when not to be doing it too much. If you get into that area where you going too crazy over it, it's a no go for me.
So that's a deal breaker if they're too obsessed with conspiracy theories.
Like I like to dabble, I dibble and dabble in it. I don't get too deep in it.
You know what channel you guys have to check out if you like conspiracy theories? You know who Shane Dawson is on YouTube?
No, I never heard of him.
I'm gonna send you Shane Dawson.
Shout out to OTG on Clubhouse. That's who room I used to be in with the conspiracy. See, I might be too deep. I used to fall asleep in the conspiracy room. So
That's old.
It's a green light. It's not a deal breaker. It's a green light. I can't be hypocritical like
that. They only brush their teeth once a day. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
I mean, I can't say I love it.
Is it a red flag or a deal breaker?
I guess red flag.
Okay. They clap every time the plane lands. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Red flag.
Okay. They're a really bad tipper. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Deal breaker.
I hear you on that.
Deal breaker. One thing, I'm heavy on tip. Like if I see you not tipping right, like I will never forget that. I'll never look at you the same. I'll be like,
It's one thing if you, because I agree with that and I don't agree with that, because I'm the type of person, if I have it, I'm gonna overgive. But if I don't have it, I don't. It's not. My thing is, if I don't have enough money to really be out there tipping well, I wouldn't even go to a restaurant to go eat.
Right, like, if you have enough to do what you paying for, you got enough to put a little extra on.
Right, exactly. But not to tip, that's crazy. Oh, I want to shout out the chat. I'm like going in and out and I'm seeing my peoples there, but it's like I was getting nervous and I had to like open the screen so I could just see Nerd. But shout out to everybody in the chat.
The chat right now.
You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. I can't look at y'all now because I was getting nervous.
Looking at the chat because it'll throw you off.
Exactly. So it's not that I'm not looking at y'all. I love y'all. Okay. So my next question is: they don't believe. What did I put? Oh, they don't believe. What the heck? They don't believe in anniversaries. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it? I think I put anniversary.
Anniversaries? That's a red flag.
Yeah, I think I put this. I wrote this down and don't even know. They don't believe. Lord, they don't believe in anniversaries. What you said it was? Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
For a woman not to believe in anniversaries, that would be a red flag.
Yes, I agree with you. Okay, they order chicken fingers every time you go out to eat. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it? They have the taste buds of a 5-year-old.
If I really like you, it's not a deal breaker, but it's a red flag.
Yeah, you have the taste buds of a 5-year-old. They don't like animals. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Red flag.
Okay. They want to have their honeymoon in Las Vegas.
I love it. I'm loving that. I love that.
All right. They hate texting and refuse to do it. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Hate texting?
They hate texting and refuse to do it. Red flag, deal breaker, or love it?
Oh, that's a deal breaker because I'm a big texter.
You an avid texter? Dr. X said, nah, that's the deal breaker. They chew with their mouth open.
That's a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker. Word up. Oh man, thank you for playing, Nerd. So let me ask you this: what stuff do you have coming up? Like, what do you see for yourself? Tell me everything that you got coming up.
Well, honestly, I feel like it's not no feel like I did. I took a break. I took a break from almost everything for like 2 to 3 years. I was dealing with some real shit, some family shit, and I was trying to. Sometimes you try to work through it, and you thinking you being strong. Like, so what? Just keep doing what you do. But at some point, I had to like, you know what? Fuck everything else. I got some shit I need to deal with, and I feel like beginning of this year, I'm gonna get back into a lot of shit I wanted to do as far as like merch and content. So 2022 is really going to be a year I get to be creative again. The last 2 years, I had to be like, I had to lock in on being a dad and helping my family, so I couldn't really be as creative as I wanted to. But
right. And it's hard to spread yourself so thin because you can't put 100% into your creativeness if you have real life things that you're dealing with.
I can't, because I draw most of my content from life. So
yes.
If I'm not feeling it, it's like I can't go hard. So, and it would be like through the last 2 years, people been asking me like, "Yo, when you dropping new shirts and hoodies?" And I've been wanting to be like, "Man, I don't give a fuck about that shit right now." But I would just be like, "Oh, it's coming, it's coming." So
the game needs you, nerd.
I know the game need me. I stepped away from the game for a couple years, but And it's crazy that you asked me to be on your show because like it's like people still fucking with me. Like sometimes, as a creative, you might feel like people still fuck with me.
People fuck with you, nerd. And part of the reason why I wanted to have you here, because I wouldn't be knowing about a lot of waves if it wasn't for you. Part of me getting on social media and doing anything on social media, I have to owe that to you because you've been part of my journey since I started.
It's been like a decade.
What happened?
It's been like a decade.
Since 09. Since 09, man. It's been a long time. I wanted to give you your flowers. I wanted to introduce you to the world, to my followers, to people. They need to know who you are, how you started, where you came from. I'm so excited for you to get excited about this again in 2022. You need to be like your podcast. I love your podcast. You need to get that on the road. Start doing your streamings. Get yourself back out there because you have a huge platform of people that follow you. You have the audience for you to turn it into monetization. And, the waves that you start, you're super creative. And, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ASS. Like, I'm telling you this for real, So people need to give you their flowers.
You too. You got your platform. I see
Thank you, nerd. Thank you.
I'm like Sting. Like I be in the rafters, but I'll be watching. Like everything.
Thank you. I appreciate that, nerd. You also invited me to your Discord. Can you explain? Because I'm confused.
Oh, shout out to my Discord, Gem Factory Discord. I'm almost at 500 members. It's my own little underground community I started. And shout out to y'all. I love y'all. It's like I only had it for what? Maybe 3 months. And we almost at 500 people.
Can you explain how it works to the people? Because you sent me an invite. I got on there and my phone was going off every 5 seconds. I literally could not understand. Because nerd, I'm going to tell y'all real quick. Nerd is the type that any new wave, he's always putting me on. I get into these new freaking platforms. Before
we late on it. It's a gaming platform.
Okay.
But what it is to me is giving me that feeling of like SOHH. You get to bring that feeling back, the forum type of vibe.
So how does it work? You get on there and it's like continuous conversation all day?
Well, it's continuous conversation. On my Discord, I can't speak for anybody else, but on mine's, I have multiple categories, topics. So you just get in where you fit in. You can stay in the plant room. You don't gotta leave to talk to people who like plants, or you can go in the gambling room.
Oh, I need to get back on there and see what's going on.
I said you slept on it.
I gotta get back in there. I have to figure out a way to mute stuff because like my phone just kept going off, and I was like, "What is going on?"
You definitely gotta turn the notifications off.
Yeah, because I was so confused. And then what was that app that you had me on before Discord? That radio one? You was making your mixes.
I forgot. See, and that's the thing with me. Sometimes I get on a thing and then I'll be over it quick. It was I forgot the name.
It was kind of dope though, because you was able to broadcast your own radio station.
I forgot the name of it. That's crazy.
I forgot the name of that thing too.
This was during the pandemic. I had like a 2-month run on it where I went crazy on it. Radiohead, maybe?
Was it?
I forgot.
I have no freaking clue. Don't get me to lying. I did too much E in my 20s, nerd. I don't know what be going on sometimes.
It's all good.
Word. So 2022 coming up. Your Discord, your podcast, your merch, plug.
It's so much coming. I can't wait.
Yo, I can't wait for everybody to really tap in with you. You need to know you need to know your worth, King. No, but for real, man.
No, but I'm blessed and I appreciate that I was able to take a break and I still got my same people that's fucking with me. You feel me? I feel like my audience and my supporters, they regular, so they understand how life get real. So like they rocking with me regardless.
Absolutely, man. And I'm so
I'm still outlasting people. Like I'm just doing me. Like I never did no weird shit to get popping. I just coasted. I'm still here. People still care to hear me. Like you even care to interview me.
Absolutely. You need to start doing more streams, nerd, and even do your podcast on live so people can see how y'all do that. And I want more people, to know who you are. I believe that you are a hidden gem and I want to put you out there more. And I hope that, this interview today could kind of like inspire you a little bit to get back out there and do that, because people have done that for me and I want to do that for my friends as well. And you're a legend, man. People need to know who Nerd Nash is, Nerd at the Cool Table, and the things that you've done. I want you to give everybody your platform names, drop your Twitter, your Instagram, your Discord, your Clubhouse.
Follow me on Twitter at Nerd at Cool Table. Follow me on Instagram, nerd_Nash. Make sure you listen to Church for the Wild podcast. It's on the podcast app. It's on SoundCloud. Hit me up if you want to get into the Discord. And that's just follow me on Twitter, and from there, that'll be all you need. That's
absolutely, yo. Shout out to Nerd Nash, Nerd at the Cool Table.
Wait, too. Leave women alone. That's a movement we started on the podcast. Leave women alone. Just let them do what they do.
Tell them what this. You were saying that sometimes when people wear this, people think it's some sort of like domestic violence organization.
Well, it started as an inside joke to where me and Coach Marley, we got fed up with even trying to argue with women. So we just say, you know what? Just leave women alone. Let them be. Don't try to control them. Let them live their life, yo.
Leave women alone. Stay out of women business. Men, stop trying to be women. No. I don't mean it like that. Hold on. If you are a man and you want to be a woman, that's totally okay. But I'm talking about like heterosexual men staying in women business. That's what I meant. I'm not trying to get canceled before my podcast even starts.
Yeah. You did that. You talking about the vax? Like, I don't know.
That's okay, guys. I love everybody, whether you're vaxxed and waxed or whether you're not. It's all good. Shout out to everybody that tapped in the live today. You could be shout out to Nerd Nash. You are my very first guest. This is full circle. I can't think about anybody else in the world that I would want to be my first guest on my podcast than you, Nerd. This is a long time coming. I should have been did this.
Imagine when you hit episode 1000. I'll be like, y'all was the first one.
Yo, this is number 1, man. Nerd Nash, Nerd at the Cool Table. Shout out to all his movements. Focus on yourself. Leave women alone. Church for the Wild podcast. Twitter, Instagram, Discord. 2022, expect to see nerd in your face, in your computers, on your freaking laptops, in your phones. You know, you got to do the Nerd Nash takeover 2022. Shout out to everybody that tapped in the live. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be in Angie's world. And for that, I love you. You got anything to say before we get up out of here, nerd?
Be safe. Be safe out here. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, tap in with him. And shout out to what's the numbers TV? Good convo. Congrats, Angie, on the first episode. Thank you, man. That's my homeboy Poe Rowan Batty from What's the Numbers TV. I literally couldn't see the chat. I had it literally open like this, so I could just do the interview. Shout out to Sam, to Bella, to Yahira. Oh man, thank you guys so freaking much for tapping in. Cheryl White, Bella, thank you guys. Like I said, you could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be in Angie's world. Welcome to episode 1. I love y'all. Deuces.